Hello, welcome to Sage Bonsai, and my name is Aoki Baron. You can call me Oki, you can call me Mr. Baron. Um, yeah, let's get on with this broadcast here. Okay, okay. So first of all, we have our sage here. I just recently got this. Um, we got my soil, which is just pea gravel, some potting soil, spent used bonsai soil on the very bottom of this. There is some sand in this as well. But yeah, we mix this up very well. It's about a 40%, probably a little bit more. I live in the desert, so I can't really have straight up bonsai soil. It's just dry here in Utah. Mind the fingers. I helped with my girlfriend dye her hair, and I didn't care to use gloves. And well, I paid the ultimate price with that one. um, but yeah, let's mix this soil up. See, it's pretty rocky. It's pretty loomy. It's kind of tough, but it's very airy. Very airy. It's there's a very the good thing about sage is that you don't have to fertilize it. You don't have to fertilize it at all. You don't have to fertilize much of it. Um, let's start with getting this out of the pot, and let's see what we're working with here. Let's make some bonsai out of this material. It's kind of hard to get out of this pot because it's been in here for I don't know how long, but probably a year because it doesn't grow very fast. Let's say we got all this roots. Believe it or not, this root is probably just on the outside and not on the inside. So yeah, let's get our tool, root tool. As you can see, it's not a real root tool. It's a what's called O-ring pick, and I find it makes really great shohin size root hook. It hooks it without damaging the roots. It's because it tapers here and it splits out wide, and it's really smooth, so it does more of the work without having to do the work. It, with sagebrush, we have this really fine root mass. We got to be really careful with that. That's the feeder roots. If you were to go wildly collect it, it has a big old giant taproot, and it goes down really far. If you were to wildly collect it, you want to get as much as that taproot out. When to collect it, I would say around March, if you're here in the U.S. That's the only place where you can probably find big sagebrush or big basin sagebrush. Artemisia tridentata. Probably butchering that name pretty well, badly, but there's benefits to sage, and we work. I don't know. This is my first broadcast and probably my only one about sage, so you're gonna learn a lot from me in this little tiny little bit here. We are gonna. Why sage? Well, the sagebrush was the first thing I ever wildly collected on my tribal land. And oh, thank you. That was my neighbor offering me tomatoes. She's really nice. yeah, I went out there in Fort Duchesne and uh, visiting family out there, and got I got some sagebrush because I wanted a little piece of home to bring home with me. When I bring it home, I wanted to plant it over at my mom's house, and I really wanted it to thrive. Well, the problem is my mom doesn't take good care of her lawn, and I'm out there whenever I possibly can be, and I didn't want the sage to go and get ruined. And I'm over here in my apartment complex. There's really not really much I can do. I can't plant it in the ground very well without the landlord possibly running it over. And so I did bonsai. I made it into bonsai. Uh, I particularly wanted to keep it alive in a small container as far as long as it possibly can. Um, so we're about done with this. I don't want to go all the way to the bare root, but we can definitely see. Oh, look what we got here. We got three separate plants. Three separate plants. Oh, look at that. That just comes out real easy with that one. Bonus. Bonus. Give that a little shake. Pull a little bit. You don't want to be too rough with this. Just give it a little shake. Doesn't want to come out real loose. Tease the roots a little bit more. Oh, see, it's very forgiving. Very forgiving. Um, but yeah, I wanted to keep this as sage, as a bonsai, and well, I read up on everything I could possibly do, and there's no information about sage as bonsai. So I wanted to bring the world of sage that we can possibly do, because I think sage definitely needs to be part of the bonsai world, and I think it has a very great potential of being um, an outstanding piece in the bonsai community. Um, Everything we would learn about sage, it is basically a 180 loop. What we know in the bonsai world of rules, everything that you would say rules would be rules in a sage world, it throws it. It's a basically 50-50 if it wants to comply with you or not. And half of the time, it doesn't want to do. Half of the time, it just does its own thing. Um, yeah, with sage, we have to ask it for permission to, because in my culture, we have to ask the plant for permission to do anything, Say this one was connected to the other root, but you know what? One little root. That's all it takes. And they're both spliced together. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really awesome. But I have this big old giant vessel. Yeah, I know it's not a bonsai pot, but I'm in development. There's a reason why I have this big old giant pot. I like the color. I like the shape of it. Um, it has a lip right down here on the very bottom where it holds water, so it'll hold a pretty good decent amount of water in here. But it's deep, nice and deep, and we need that for development. Developing trees is essential for the root mass itself to be quite beneficial. Let me show you the one I caught on Duchesne County. It was this one right here. Is a better photo of that right here. Better view. That's the front. You're probably wondering why the big rocks. Well, when I caught it in Duchesne County, rocks like this were just abundant. That's the desert out there. I wanted to bring the Penjing with me. That beautiful landscape. And you're probably wondering, what's up with this? What's up with that piece right there? Yeah, it's almost in flowering. It's first year of flowering, believe it or not. I have this for 4 years in this little pot, and it's very, very beautiful. It's it's going to be bright yellow flowers, and after they flower, they'll go into seeding. So I'm very excited for the seeding to take place. Maybe I'll grow some more. I scattered a bunch of seeds on my mom's property, but they never took off. And you know what? I'm in no rush, because you know why? Like some junipers, sometimes it takes a couple of years. Maybe it takes a couple growing seasons for it to fully take off. And I'm no rush for that. But as you can see, we had little to no. Some of these ultra fine roots, yeah, they're broken off, but little damage. Not much we can save with that. But look, it's all there. I know you're not supposed to bare root anything, but we are actually and developing of these trees into such wonderful bonsai trees. We got our soil. Oh, there goes my phone. Oh. So we got the soil all nice and mixed up. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get another pot just for a mini bonsai, mini showing. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, yeah, I got this little pot over here. It once carried bamboo, but the last plant that was in here was actually a bristlecone pine, and well, the squirrels, the cats, the dogs all knocked it over. It's been through torment, and it just didn't take off. And I grew it from seed. I know that bristlecone pines, they don't tend to, if you can bonsai them, you can bonsai them. But you know what? Half of the time, they don't even want to live in the real world. So they're just really hard to take care of. They're really hard to even develop. Most of all, if you can even get one to last, 5 to 10 years, awesome. If you can get one to even sprout, awesome. Out of 120 seeds, I only got 6 I only got like maybe 20 that sprouted. I only got 1 left. Not good odds. No, not good odds at all. Okay, we got our soil. And, well, let's pick out a tree for this. I want a tree that has character. That kind of has character. Maybe. Oh, I like that. I like that area. So it's going straight up this way. We'll do this as almost like a windswept. But in the, maybe, hold on, do this one. This one looks pretty promising. It has a kind of a wavy texture going on. Go like this. Ooh. Sagebrush, when you wire it, it doesn't like to be wired. It'll break quite easily. You got to get it right when it's young. Um, the nursery, whoever raised this, they fed it pretty well. Got these roots to grow, these shoots to grow strong real quick. While mine over here, they're pretty soft. I can wire them, but because it's also in a pot that's so small, it's taking forever for it to even grow. It bushes out very slowly. This one, it bushed out really quickly because it was in a development area. It was in development. They're developing these as I'm thinking we're going with this one. I want to say this one because this one's really nice. Really nice movement. Sagebrush is, believe it or not, a member of the sunflower family. It'll follow the sun. It's a semi-evergreen, so it's kind of deciduous and it's kind of an evergreen at the same time. It's kind of like the missing link in the plant world. So it's a nitrogen fixating. It's a soil fixation plant, so it basically takes the nitrogen from the air, stores it in the roots, and some microorganisms actually feed off of the roots, and they'll feed off the nitrogen that's produced in the roots. Let's go with this one. This one actually, I keep going back to this one. This one's just so much to offer. Yeah, so much to offer with this one. Let's see, we've got it going this way. That's a great formation. Okay. That just looks so great. Yeah, I'm new to all this bonsai stuff, so, excuse me if I don't say the correct terms, and I'm no bonsai master. I don't claim to be one. I just do this for fun. I'm not making profit. I'm not making money off of it. This is just me doing this and just having fun with it. You just gotta, even if I were to, be gone to apprenticeship and did all this stuff, and I would never still claim to be a bonsai master, because even in masters who's been doing this for 60, 80 plus years, they all their life, even then they still are learning new tricks, new things. And the world of bonsai, it's everlasting changing, and it's changing so much. And it's quickly changing. I don't know if it's a bad thing, but I think it's a great thing, because what I hear is that since the pandemic happened, people has been buying bonsai because they gotten cooped up with our world and trying to escape, de-stress, and I find bonsai very relaxing. Yeah, and yeah, it can be very helpful. It can be very beneficial to, our needs, because we need to escape the world. And here in the urban jungle, well, I'm surrounded by city. I don't got mountain life. As much as I really want to get close to the mountain life and get close to nature and everything, I'm too busy helping my mom, helping my neighbors, that I don't really got time to go out and enjoy what nature really has to offer. And so I do bonsai because I really want to connect back with nature, and it's very helpful to de-stress from the everyday world that we live in. it's beneficial to breathe back in the oxygen that we're creating here. Uh, you know, sage. In my culture, we use this to bless our bodies with property and ward off evil spirits. We used it to make tea. I don't recommend it. Um, the reason why is sagebrush is a I would say it's like a reset button. Just making sagebrush tea is like a reset button. It kills the good bacteria, it kills the bad bacteria, and it kills pathogens like viruses and um, what's it called? It's basically a kill-all, and it's not good for your liver. It's not great for your liver, but it's good to get rid of parasites. Yeah, it's antifungal, antibacterial. So if you get a cut, you can just rub it on your wound and uh, you know help keep your wounds nice and clean. Um, Cut it up, put it in soap bars, and it's great to keep your skin nice and clean, and antifungal and antibacterial properties that will actually help you fight off those nastiness of everyday life. But yeah, sagebrush. It also talks with one another, and if you're thinking that's odd. Yeah, when an animal eats it, it sends off that iconic aroma of sage. Well, it's also telling other neighboring plants to start putting bitters in its leaves, start toughening up because something's killing this one plant right here, and that's what it's a great survival. So if you ever have like deer, venison, and things like that, and they taste like sage, well, they've been eating a lot of sagebrush that's been telling other sagebrushes to start producing bitters. Now, this is it'll get nice and winter color, so it doesn't lose all of its leaves. You'll find that it saves its leaves during the winter. It does drop its leaves every now and then, so things like this big old giant leaf. Eventually, it'll get small with time. But I wouldn't recommend defoliating a sagebrush because it depends on each one of these leaves for survival. But you can defoliate it. I don't recommend it. Um, when you're clipping the branches, be careful, because if you clip too much, you kill off that whole entire branch. So I recommend that. So like this. If you see right here that we have nice, good branching coming off of here and coming off of here, and it's still getting really thick and it's pushing out lots of growth. Yeah, I would recommend that you can cut back, but be mindful that if you cut too much off, you kill off the whole plant. There's no going back from that. You kill too much of this branch, and it'll kill all the way to the root. And so that's what we get when we have. Let me show you what we have right here. So when I wildly collected this sagebrush over here, it had this nice, wonderful kink right here, with that nice shari right there. Yeah, connected to this branch right here. That died, and so it killed off. And yeah, and this right here was possibly part of that. It creates deadwood. So yeah, and the roots, they're very weird. Taproot, like I said, that the taproot on this is very, very finicky. If you cut too much off, you kill off the whole entire plant. No going back from that. So when you get it, you have to get as much root as possible. It helps the survival of it. Yeah, I'm busy. Uh, yeah, man, wife needs me, but she's gonna have to wait. But yeah, so taproot. When you cut it, you want to get as much taproot as possible. Um, these finer, these fine roots will come out later in life. Um, their feeder roots, they they help plenish everything, and yeah, they're quite beneficial to everything. Um, Another thing is when you overwater a sagebrush like this, don't don't be scared if it goes yellow. When it goes yellow, it's telling you that it's getting way too much water. It's too thirsty, too hydrated. So cut back on the water when it starts to get yellow. The leaves, older leaves will eventually die off. That's just natural. Um, they Yeah, like I said, they flower yellow, and then they seed right after. Very plentiful seeds. What's the life expense of this is I would consider it a one person plant shrub. Um, why do I say that? Well, it only lives to be 120 to 130 33 years. Um, it's hard to say how long they actually live in life because in the wild they get mowed down by deer, elk, other big time grazers, bison. But the biggest threat to this is man, wildfires. Um, yeah, yeah, wildfires is the biggest issue. What kills all these? If you go out in Wyoming, there is very little of these guys that get about 10 to 15 feet high, and they're usually around the 80 to 100 years old mark. Um, but yeah, it's rare to get them that big, and usually when they're that big, they're right next to an old riverbed, dried up creek riverbed, so it gets a lot of wash in. Um, but yeah, sagebrush, the branches are best to slowly move them in place with wiring when they're young. If they get any kind of green brown, I don't recommend trying to bend it. If you can, you'll probably bend like a little bit at a time. My secret to bending hardwood, so a little bit of hardwood, is that you got to mist this every day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times, maybe 4 times. You got to mist that heavy, all the branches that you want to bend, and you're going to want to mist that very heavy for maybe a month, sometimes 2. But when you're bending it, you got to be very slowly. There, you got to do drying. I don't like doing the misting thing because you get mold. This is a dry desert plant. It's not meant to be wet logged. Uh, it doesn't like a lot of wet. Great thing about sagebrush is that they they don't have a lot of pathogens. They don't have a lot of diseases. They don't have a lot of critters like bugs wanted to eat it. That's really great. I think that is an awesome beneficial plant to the bonsai world. Um, we need more plants like this, native species in our life. Uh, with sagebrush, it's a hit or miss. It's a wild card. Everything you know about this will literally throw it at you, and it'll throw at all the knowledge that you have worked up. The fact that I got that one to live was a hard. It was hard. It took everything that I knew and basically threw it out the door. It was hard for me to try to understand it, and I'm still trying to understand what makes sagebrush sagebrush. Um, but yeah, with that misting technique, I'll show misting technique. Let's see, where is it? Right over here. You can find a double loop. Right over there, another loop. And up here, that's a hard bend up there. That's a very hard bend up there. Get that nice good S shape back in. This main branch right here in the back, this one right here, this one, yeah, that was actually just sticking completely straight out. And yeah, that was a hard bend to get in here. Over here we got another double loop over there. That's from the misting technique. Very hard to do. And yeah, if you snap a branch, it's pretty much almost done for. The fact that I have one branch that actually cracked and still lived, it amazes me that this thing will actually live even if you crack it. So be careful. Be careful if you dealing with sagebrush, because it's very delicate for how flowy it seems to be, because it really isn't very flowy at all. The branches, they break easy. The wind will break it. But in harsh climate, you look at the sagebrush and you see them all mangled and twisted up and everything, and that is really great. That is really great for them. All right, well, I'm gonna get back to putting these in these other two in the developing pot, and well, I guess we'll catch you from another day in another chapter, I guess. But right now, we're not gonna defoliate this. We just put this in this pot. We ain't gonna do any messing. We're not gonna do any chopping. We're just gonna let it be. Let it be. That's why everybody gets wrong when they bring home a sagebrush and they put it in a pot. You did all this damage on here, the root. You know, it needs to recover. It needs all this. It needs all this. During the winter, it needs as much foliage as you can do to survive. It'll go from being this nice green color, greenish gray, bluish gray, and it will drop. It will drop a nice, like, powdery steel blue color. It will get like a stone color. Sometimes even where's the color I'm looking for? It's kind of like almost like that color. But yeah, they will go from like a grayish blue color in the winter time, and that would be the best time to, you know, just let it be. Well, I'm gonna cut my video short with you guys, and see you later in another chapter.